Let's go ahead and move over to the wide receiver position. And the first guy that I want to talk about here as the deep sleeper in wide receivers is Kadarius Toney. Now, he was a first-round pick in 2021. He's only 24 years old, still a young type of guy. He could be the #1 wide receiver for Mahomes. I'm not really sold on MVS as of right now being the #1 guy. Kadarius Toney, he's lights out. The dude's got speed. He ran a 4.39 in college. He was doing very well, and he could be the vertical threat for this opportunity of a Patrick Mahomes who has a cannon for an arm. So I really like the opportunity that Toney has. If he can stay healthy, he could be solid. I mean, you have MVS, Sky Moore, and the rookie that they drafted from SMU, Rashee Rice. Those are the only competitions for Kadarius Toney. He can beat out all of these guys, and he's somebody that you, like I said, you can get towards the later of your draft. He's somebody you can put in as your wide receiver 3 or even a flex spot, and he can really be producing for you for fantasy playoffs. I mean, think about having the #1 target for Patrick Mahomes other than Travis Kelce. I mean, you ain't got to sell me no more on that. I think Kadarius Toney is a perfect deep sleeper for 23. So, moving right along, I'm going to go with the rookie A.T. Perry with the New Orleans Saints. I mean, he's really just giving off these Marcus Colston type of vibes for me. Marcus Colston, he was a 6th round. Marcus Colston was a 7th round pick. A.T. Perry was a 6th round pick out of Wake Forest. So he's tall and lanky. I think he's like 6'3", 200 pounds. He's a good receiver with solid hands. He's got one of the best hands in camp so far. He did great in college. He's good at contesting the catch. Now, he doesn't have much separation, even though he has a 4.47 speed. That's a little bit slower than what you'd probably like for a wide receiver, but his big frame kind of makes up for it. He can jump, he can get the ball and make these kind of contestant catches. You know, you got Michael Thomas and Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed in front of him. I think Rashid Shaheed, he's going to definitely take over. He won't take over Chris Olave. Chris Olave is definitely the #1 wide receiver for this offense, but Michael Thomas may not be there after this season, and he may not be there towards the middle of the season. So that means towards your playoffs, you can have a wide receiver, a 6'3" wide receiver in A.T. Perry who has solid hands. All he needs is the opportunity. I think he can get the opportunity with the New Orleans Saints to be a solid player and definitely the absolute category of a deep sleeper wide receiver in 2023. He's another one that's completely free. He's being completely undrafted right now, especially if you're playing or you're drafted in best ball leagues right now. This is the guy you might want to target with your very last pick of the draft. I really like what he's able to produce. Wake Forest, he was an absolute monster, and I think he will be a monster for the New Orleans Saints. Now, the last wide receiver we're going to talk about today as a deep sleeper, we're going to be talking about John Mechie. Now, John Mechie, he was a 2nd round pick out of Alabama. He played phenomenal when he was. There's Robert Woods and Nico Collins, Noah Brown, Nathaniel Dell, Xavier Hutchinson. There's a lot of receivers there. The actual receiving room is very crowded, but I think Mechie has the talent to kind of separate himself from a lot of these players in the league, and he ended up missing his rookie season due to a diagnosis of leukemia. Now he's done kind of over-conquered that. Now he's back at practice. He's doing things. There's opportunity here for Mechie, and he could definitely carve out a solid role for a team that's kind of struggling for playmakers right now. There's not a lot around him. There's a rookie quarterback right now in CJ Stroud. We've got Dameon Pierce as the running back and a plethora of wide receivers. Most of them are extremely young, except for Robert Woods. So Nico Collins could be the #1 wide receiver. Robert Woods could be the #1 wide receiver. Mechie could be the #1 wide receiver. You don't really know, but I think it's worth taking a stab on somebody that you could possibly be the #1 target for a team that has to throw the ball early and often. I do a lot worse than having John Mechie team. I think his ADP is kind of rising a little bit. People are kind of catching on to John Mechie's talent. They're starting to remember why he was drafted in the 2nd round so high last season. And just because he missed a whole season because he was diagnosed with leukemia doesn't mean that he doesn't know how to play football anymore. So he's definitely a good target for you to hit for the end of the drafts, and you never know what you end up with. It could be kind of a diamond in a rough situation. So as always, I do appreciate you guys watching the video. If you guys like video content like this to help you dominate your leagues, be sure to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, always helps out, and I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.